Welcome to the Association of Independent Maryland and DC Schools College Fair. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to serve as the facilitator for our session today. We have some amazing presenters here to share information about their institutions within about a 6-minute time frame. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. The first announcement, your camera and microphone are off, so our presenters are unable to hear or see you. Second announcement, you can use that Q&A feature in Zoom to type your questions to our presenters at any point throughout our session today. Third announcement, this is just one of a few different sessions we're offering, so feel free to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation is being recorded, and you can access this recording by visiting strivescan.com/AIMS. With all of that said, I want to go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter from Occidental College.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charlie Lazier, and I'm the Dean of Admission at Occidental College in Los Angeles. So excited that you're joining our session today. And so I'll go ahead and get started. So we're gonna go west to Los Angeles. The name Occidental actually means of the West. And so we were created in the image of an East Coast liberal arts college, but on the West Coast. And so that's a big part of our identity, being on the West Coast, being in LA, and of course, where we're situated in the city of LA is a big part of our personality. We're nestled in two residential neighborhoods, Highland Park and Eagle Rock. And so that's about 10 minutes north of downtown by car, about 15 or 20 minutes from Hollywood and Burbank, about 15 minutes or so from Pasadena. You're able to walk in the neighborhood, bike in the neighborhood. You're welcome to have a car to be able to get around LA. LA is certainly much more of a car city than many East Coast cities, but students really enjoy the neighborhood that we're in and really enjoy having access to all that LA offers. We're one of the few liberal arts colleges located in a major city. So most city schools are typically large institutions, and most schools like us are often suburban or rural in location. And so we really lean into our urban location to really enhance our academic experience with our small size. So as with any small liberal arts college, we're going to have small class sizes, in that 10 to 20 range for most of your classes for all 4 years. But what's different is that we're able to take those classes of 10 to 20 out in the city and really help you engage with the city of LA. A few examples, we have an economics course at Oxy that will take you to the port of Long Beach. I'm sure you've all been hearing about the trade and supply chain issues in the world. So our economics classes are actually going to the port of LA and Long Beach, boarding the container ships, talking to the people who work at the port, and then coming back to the classroom to deconstruct those ideas and conversations in an academic setting. We have theater classes that will go out into the city of LA, watch productions, and then come back to the classroom, interact with the directors, the producers, the actors in those productions, and have some pretty incredible conversations there. So again, our location in the city of LA allows us to use our small size to really maneuver around the city. Our most popular programs at Oxy are going to be economics and also diplomacy and world affairs, which is our approach to international affairs. We have a lot of students studying politics at Oxy as well as biology with a focus on marine biology because we're close to the Pacific Ocean, and also psychology is a pretty popular program. Two distinct programs that we have. One is urban and environmental policy, which looks at community organizing and using LA as a resource to springboard community activism. And we also have an approach to film, a film major called media arts and culture. So if you're interested in being involved in the film world, being in LA, really there's no better place for it. So our students really get involved there. We also have a music production program that allows our students to really get involved with industry leaders in Los Angeles. This slide here kind of gives you a little bit of an overview of who's coming to Oxy. I'm an East Coaster. Originally, I grew up outside of Atlanta and then spent most of my adult life in DC and Philly before I moved west to LA. So I invite you to join me on the westward journey. About a third of our student body is from the DC, Philly, New York, Boston 95 corridor. Another third of the student body comes from California, and then the other third comes from all over. And so we have one of the most diverse liberal arts colleges in the country. And that's also a big part of Oxy's mission, is to kind of elevate different identities and experiences throughout the academic and programs. So kind of wrapping up, we do have two pretty exciting programs. In addition to the 75% of students that will study abroad at Oxy, we have two programs that have been developed over the past couple of years. One is a program if you're interested in studying diplomacy and world affairs. We have a relationship with the United Nations. And so every fall, a cohort of our seniors will move to New York City and work full-time at the UN. So it's great for students who are interested in politics, interested in diplomacy, because you will actually be representing different countries at the UN or different organizations, focusing on everything from gender equity, to human rights around the world, working at the UN headquarters. We also have a program for students interested in entering the world of politics. We have a campaign semester. And so for every presidential and midterm election cycles, a huge cohort of our students fans out across the United States and works on campaigns, from Senate campaigns to presidential campaigns to gubernatorial campaigns. Our students are really involved in these. And so every fall we send out between 10 and 50 students to one of these programs. We invite you to come to campus. We're open. We'd love to have you here in LA. We're open throughout the summer for tours. If you cannot make it out to LA, I always say a fun way to take a tour of Oxy is to actually watch the movie Clueless. Some of the parents watching may know it, and maybe some of the students are not familiar with the movie Clueless, but the whole movie was filmed at Oxy. So it's a great way to get a quick snapshot of what the campus looks like. But thanks for listening. I'll pass it on to the next presenter.
Thank you, Charlie. Our next presenter is from Goldsmiths, University of London.
Hey, everyone. My name's Will. I'm the International Officer at Goldsmiths, University of London. I'm personally based in Brooklyn, but our wonderful university is across the pond in your favorite formerly European country of the United Kingdom. So Goldsmiths is one of the older institutions in England. We were founded in 1891, and we are a member of the prestigious University of London. The University of London is the third oldest institution in England. We have around 10,500 students on our campus. Americans are our second largest cohort of international students. We are about 35% international, which makes us among the top 60 most international universities in the world. We have around 43% of our population that are first generation students. We're about half students of color. And we have one of the largest LGBTQ+ populations in the UK among universities. We've also instituted a Green New Deal as part of our sort of new initiative on campus. And we are committing to carbon neutrality by 2025 and net zero carbon emissions by 2030. We also place a very large emphasis on research at Goldsmiths, and we have 55 different research centers and units on campus, and we do expect undergraduate students to partake in research from their first year. And we're not all sort of serious, though. We have over 120 different clubs, societies, and sports you can join, everything from volleyball to football, and by football I mean soccer, rugby. We also have influential alumni that have won numerous awards and prizes, including Oscars, Olivier Awards, Tonys, and BAFTAs. Our campus is located about 10 minutes southeast of the city center of London, and we are a single site campus. So for an urban school, it's a bit rare in London to have one site where all your coursework and support is located, but that's how our campus is situated. We have a train station right next to campus at New Cross Gate, and that will take you right into the city center in about 10 minutes. That same train station also can take you down to Brighton Beach in about an hour and 15 minutes. So in the summer, you can enjoy some seafood and surf. And London's also about 40% parkland, so it's a really green city. It's not all sort of urban hustle and bustle, but there's tons to do in London. It's been voted the best student city in the world for, I think, 5 or 6 years running. We have the West End for theater. We have 5 Premier League teams if you're interested in football. We have tons of different museums and galleries, music venues, and just a really international city as well. It's also about 38% foreign born. So delicious cuisine from all over the world, best Indian food you'll have. Earning your undergraduate degree in England is also slightly different from the US. So we have 3-year bachelor's degrees in the UK. So you can get your bachelor's degree quicker than your US counterparts. We also have shorter degrees, so they're more focused and there's no general education. So you do have the opportunity to specialize and perform undergraduate research, but you have to choose a major from the outset. So as you apply, you'll apply directly to a particular program. We do also have a post-study work visa in the UK, which allows you to remain in country for up to 2 years after you graduate. So if you're looking to remain in the UK a bit more permanently, you can do so. And Goldsmiths is among the top 100 universities in the world for the arts and humanities and among the top 200 for social sciences and business and management. 8 of our subject areas are in the world's top 50. And we're also ranked 21st in the UK for the quality, significance, and rigor of our research. And we do take our research extremely seriously. And our academic programs are across 3 different faculties. We have our arts and humanities, professional studies, science and technology, and culture and society faculties. Some popular programs that American students tend to gravitate toward are our media communications program. We are a top 10 media communications school in the world, and this includes our School of Journalism and our film school. We also are very well known for art and design. We're among the top 15 universities in the world for those programs. And both programs are very open-ended. So it's just a BA Fine Art or a BA Design, and you can do any and all forms of fine art and design in those programs. Our psychology and computer science programs are also very popular, as well as our theater, music, and politics international relations programs. The application process is pretty similar to your normal American application. We are using a system called UCAS, UCAS, and this is how you apply to all schools in the UK. We have a 3.0 unweighted GPA requirement, and we are test flexible, and you'll apply by late January each year. We do also have international scholarships, and we accept federal direct and Parent Plus loans, and accommodation is guaranteed for you in the first year. But after that, you'll be on your own living in London among Londoners. And lastly, we place a really large emphasis on careers at Goldsmiths. About 91% of our students go into further work or study in their field in 6 months. And we offer work placements and internships annually for the vast majority of our students. And we're very entrepreneurial. So nearly 15% of our graduates will start their own business within 1 year of graduation. And we have a business incubator on campus. So thank you so much. If you happen to be in London, we'd love to welcome you on campus. But if not, I'll pop our virtual tour into the chat. And I'm happy to answer any questions in the Q&A as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Will. Our next presenter is from Franklin and Marshall College.
Hello, everyone. I'm just going to pull up my slides really quickly here. Okay, hello. My name is Sarah Berger, and I am joining you from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Franklin and Marshall College. So a little bit about us. We are a small 2,300 student liberal arts institution in Lancaster. We're actually located in downtown Lancaster City, which may not sound like a city to you, but I promise it is growing by the year. So a little bit about us and our academics. Our average class size is around 17 students total, and we have a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We have 62 fields of study on campus, ranging from your STEM majors, also into arts and theater, things like that. But our biggest right now is probably political science and our pre-med tracks. We really focus our emphasis on discussion-based curriculums. So you are in classrooms small and designed to really connect with your professor and your fellow peers in that discussion-based forum. So you're making those connections with your classmates, but also with your professors who bring you into the field with whatever research they may be conducting. And that's really helpful for setting you up for future career success as well. Another thing that we pride ourselves on at Franklin and Marshall is that we have a very global student body presence. This slide says here that we are about 17% international out of those 2,300 students, But this year, I would say we are closer to 30%. So that's a really big margin of our very small population. And of that, we represent about 46 countries worldwide. Our Clare Center, which is actually pictured here during one of our global celebrations on campus, houses our international students and their resources. So we really do try to cater to our domestic students just as much as our global students. And then as well as bringing it back to Lancaster, we do see a lot of outreach into the Lancaster city community. A lot of our alumni are still in the area or still have connections to the area, and they work very hard with our college resources to provide you with internships or other opportunities for work or experiences in our downtown Lancaster, as well as other places in Pennsylvania and surrounding areas, but Lancaster especially. These are some of our own students here. There's a farmer's market. It's very small, quaint downtown, but definitely is a college town and really provides for its students in a lot of different ways. And then on campus, we do highlight our Office of Student and Postgraduate Development Center. This is our career center, and they really work with students from all different years, especially our first years, and getting you into your majors or your, I guess, studies of choice if you haven't already chosen that by the time you get to campus. We do expect that a lot of our students don't declare a major until about their second year, and OSPGAD really helps get you on track. So yes, they are called OSPGAD. We are big for acronyms at F&M, as you can tell. And so you'll hear a lot of different acronyms, but it is the Office of Student and Postgraduate Development. And we do see about 85% of our students interact with this office in general. So the numbers speak for themselves. We have a 94% successful landing rate for employment or graduate school. We are an undergraduate only institution, but we do have a lot of partnerships with other institutions that you'll be set up for when it is your time to graduate from Franklin and Marshall. So of that, 90% of our students will be qualified for admission rates to different law and medical schools that we do have those pre-mentioned partnerships with. And our office, OSPGAD, that I mentioned earlier, they are the ones who are going to get you on those paths and ready to make those connections for your future. Our most popular post-F&M programs are masters, PhDs, and law school. So like I said, those are really popular programs on campus as well. And then just for a little bit about our financial aid, we do meet 100% of institutionally determined aid, and we award $60 million each year in grant aid. More than 60% of our students, both international and domestic, will receive some sort of need-based aid based on our financial aid packets. And our average need-based aid packet is around $48,000. And just some quick tips for admission. We do accept both the Common App and the Coalition app. We are test optional and have been for over 30 years. And our app deadlines, we do an early decision, which would be due November 15th and is a binding contract to F&M upon admission. We also offer ED2 for students who are a little late to that game for early admission 1. And interviews are recommended. Okay, does anyone have any? Oh wait, you can ask questions, but if you have any, please stop me afterwards and I will be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Our next presenter is from Washington College.
Hi, everybody. My name is Skylar Kuhn, and I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions at Washington College. I'm a Marylander myself. Our school is located in Maryland. I'm from Montgomery County. And if you are a student who goes to high school in Baltimore County, then I'm your admissions counselor. So different members of our team work with different counties within the state. So as I mentioned, we are in Maryland. We're over in Chestertown. So we're on the Eastern Shore. Not too far from some major cities. So in about 90-minute drive, you can get to Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and then also Philadelphia. New York City is about a 3-hour drive, and then Annapolis, Maryland is about a 1-hour drive. But we're basically right across the Chesapeake Bay from Baltimore City. And Chestertown is located on the Chester River. So part of our campus is waterfront, which is really beautiful. This is where we have our boathouse. So students can take out kayaks, canoes, and paddleboards all for free on weekends or after class. And this is also where some of our varsity sports teams will practice and compete. So we are a small private liberal arts school. It's a little bit less than 1,100 students total, and we are also undergraduate only. So we have no grad students on our campus, which is noteworthy because our professors are still doing research. So when they need assistance, they're pulling the undergrads to assist them. We do have a lot of things for our students to get involved in. So we have over 80 different clubs and organizations. As a smaller school, you are going to have those smaller class sizes. So your average with us is about 12. The largest class that you would have would be your first year, maybe about 30 students. And from there, it's just going to get smaller. So we'll keep going here. So you can see the full list of our majors, minors, and areas of concentration. So we have a lot of things to choose from. We are major blind. So when you're applying to Washington College, you're just applying to the school, and you don't have to declare a major until the end of your sophomore year. So you have a lot of time. Our most popular majors are business, biology, psychology, environmental science, and political science. But about half of our students will do at least one additional thing besides just their one major. So we have a lot of double majors, double minors, and things like that. And if you have any questions about this, feel free to chat it into me. All right, these are, I think I skipped a slide. Okay, so these are the 5 pillars that make up our Washington College standard. I'm just going to describe them briefly. So we do have a tradition of writing. We have our Rose O'Neill Literary House, which is one of our 3 signature centers. The signature centers are open to everybody to use, so you don't have to be in a certain major to use their resources. But this one has a couple of antique printing presses. They give out the largest undergraduate writing prize in the country called the Sophie Kerr Prize, and they bring in a lot of visiting authors. Next, environmental action. I mentioned already just our waterfront campus. So we have students that take boats out onto the river or the Chesapeake Bay for classes or maybe for their own independent research. We also have a river and field campus, which is kind of like this outdoor living laboratory. And we have a GIS lab and public archaeology lab that all fall under the Center for Environment and Society. And then our third and final signature center is the Starr Center for the Study of the American Experience. So you can see in that bottom right photo, a picture of the docks in downtown Chestertown. Downtown is about a 10-minute walk from campus. So it's really nice because, you know, Chestertown is a more rural area. The Eastern Shore is just more rural than the Western Shore is, but still students can walk into town and get to cafes, restaurants. It's very charming. The main streets end there at the river. And we have a really rich history. So the reason we're called Washington College is because George Washington was one of our founders. We were founded all the way back in 1782, the first school founded in the new country after gaining independence. The Starr Center does a lot with students who are interested in history, political science, pre-law, communications and media studies, etc. We do have a career center that works with you all 4 years. They reach out before you even set foot on campus. They have things that they require students to do each semester just to kind of keep you on track. And the majority of our students do at least one internship while they're with us. We also have study abroad. So if that's something you're interested in, you're in good company. And then lastly, for this slide, meaningful connections. We are a majority residential school, so you would plan to live on campus for 4 years. In this picture here, you can see about that average class size. And these are just some photos of student life. So you can see, of course, we're in Maryland. So there's a crab feast in that top left photo. You can see our dining hall, and then you can see one of my favorite traditions in that bottom middle photo, which is our cardboard boat race. And these are some of those experiential learning opportunities. You can see students out on the water. Our bird banding station is that top right photo. That bottom left photo is our Cole Gallery, which is our art gallery on campus. And then this is a little bit of the surrounding area. So there is the water. We are Division III in athletics. We're in the Centennial Conference. We have 18 varsity sports. Our coaches do recruit. So if you're interested, I would recommend checking out the athletics page on our website. But here you can see varsity rowing, and then we also have varsity sailing and even varsity trap and skeet. So some more unique sports that you don't always see. All right, and then in terms of applying to Washington College, we have our 3 deadlines here. Early decision is binding with us. We are test optional. We're on both the Common App and our own Washington College app, and the majority of our students get financial aid. Every student's considered for merit aid that ranges up to $30,000 a year. And if you're a member of National Honor Society, you're guaranteed to get at least $25,000 a year in merit aid. There's no fee to apply, and we're open for in-person visits. So hopefully you can come check us out soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Skylar. Our next presenter is from Sacred Heart University.
Hi, everyone. AIM students, thank you for having me. My name is Kim Perrette. I'm the Director of Regional Admissions at Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart is located in Fairfield, Connecticut. We're a private Catholic university. If you don't know where Fairfield is, it's actually only about a little over an hour outside of New York City. So our students love to be on this beautiful suburban campus, but also such close proximity to the city. So our mascot is the Pioneers. It's Big Red, and he looks like this. This is actually Little Red, but Big Red is much bigger. So we've got a lot of school spirit at Sacred Heart, and we have a lot of sports teams as well. Our undergraduate enrollment is about 6,000 students, and we are continuing to grow. We've been in a growth spurt for about 5 or 6 years now, and continuing that growth. Our total university enrollment is about 9,000. So we have several colleges of study at Sacred Heart. There's the list right here, but our most popular majors are, of course, our nursing major, which is direct entry. We have a great College of Business and Technology, and so those tend to be very popular majors as well. We're really growing in the areas of communication with some really new and different majors in that area. And also our performing arts area is really growing as well. Also, engineering is another area of growth. So we have about 80 plus majors, minors, concentrations, and still deciding options as well. Plus many master's and doctorate programs, which you can combine as undergrad and graduate. If you know exactly what you want to do, we're happy to give you that pathway. We have a lot of individualized attention in the classroom. Average class size is 21 students. I just wanted to show a few pictures as well. This is our IDEA lab. IDEA stands for Innovate, Design, Engineer, and Apply. And this is just an 11,000 square foot makerspace for students. They can go in and just be completely creative. So our computer science students, our engineering students love that they have the ability to just be creative and be free. I wanted to mention a little bit more about our College of Health Professions. These are the undergrad majors there, but most importantly, these are those master's degrees and the doctorate program in physical therapy that you can be pre-admitted to as an incoming freshman. So these are very popular, especially athletic training, occupational therapy, physician's assistant, speech language pathology, plus of course physical therapy. These are some photos of our Center for Healthcare Education. This building is pretty new. It's only about 5 years old. Very state-of-the-art equipment, simulation labs on all 3 floors. Really an awesome place to study. So study abroad is very big at Sacred Heart. We do have 2 campuses abroad, one in Luxembourg, one in Dingle, Ireland. Our students love to study abroad. We have about 60 other programs in 30 different countries around the world. They're different programs. You can do summer, full semester, really tailor it to what works for you. So super important to get involved in things outside of academics, and we have tons for students to do. I mentioned sports before. We're a very big athletic school with over, I think we have 37 D1 sports now, with women's wrestling being our our newest one. Performing arts, we have so many programs in band and choral, dance, theater arts. Of course, we have our campus ministry and plenty of volunteer programs as well. Our students really have a heart for service, and we do give back to the community quite a bit. This is our new Pioneer Village. We have 6 new residence halls just within the last 3 years. As I said before, we are growing, and we're so excited to be able to offer such beautiful new residence halls. We have our old ones as well, which are actually very, very nice. We have a new food court style dining hall. There's plenty of space for students to study outdoors and just have intramural sports and things like that. Coming in 2023, our new ice arena, and that is going to be located on our west campus, which is only a quarter of a mile from our main campus. But we are so excited about this. This is going to be a fantastic addition to Sacred Heart. Our application deadlines they don't actually change every year. Early decision is usually December 1, early action 1 is December 15, and early action 2 is January 15th. So most of our students do apply early action, I think. We do have an honors program, and there are the requirements there for our honors program. We are test optional, have been for about 10 years. Our average GPA is a 3.5, 3.6. Average nursing GPA, that's really the only one that's a little bit higher, and it's a 3.8. We do give credit for AP, IB, dual credit. The AP and IB exams scores 3 and above will give credit. And that is it for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim. Our next presenter is from Oberlin College.
Good evening. My name is Molly Cravens. I use she, her pronouns. I'm Senior Assistant Director of Admissions here at Oberlin. Oberlin is an undergraduate liberal arts college located in Oberlin, Ohio, which is about 30 minutes outside of Cleveland. We have students on campus from all 50 states and about 45 different countries. And as an institution, we're very known for our strong academics and our progressive history. At our founding in the 1830s, we were the first college to admit students regardless of race or gender. And today you can kind of see this pioneering spirit and our commitment to sustainability. We are on track to be carbon neutral by 2025, which is coming up really quickly. We are on the larger side of liberal arts colleges. We have about 2,800 students on our campus. And this is because we also have a music conservatory on campus. And so here students can pursue a degree in music performance. If they want to be a professional musician, they can pursue a degree in the liberal arts, or they can actually do our double degree program, which is where they are able to pursue both of those things at the same time. We have really low student to faculty ratio and very small classes. And so you're going to be getting a lot of personalized attention from your professors, really be able to build relationships with them. They will know your name, where you're from, what your interests are. You're not just going to be an anonymous face in the crowd. And as I said, most of our courses are pretty small. They're very discussion based. So our faculty want to hear from you. They want you to contribute. And so we really want you to be engaged in that conversation. In terms of what our classroom experience looks like, we call our approach to education the engaged liberal arts. And this is the idea that you should really be in the driver's seat of your education. And we also want you to take what you're learning in the classroom and put that into practice, whether that is through an internship, study abroad experience, research with a faculty member. And so we really want to enrich your academic experience and make sure that your learning is not just taking place in the classroom. As a liberal arts college, we're going to have you take classes in a variety of subjects, and we do not have any core curricular requirements. So we do not say every student must take, Calc 1, or every student must take so many semesters of a foreign language. We have some very flexible distribution requirements to make sure that you're getting that breadth of education. But otherwise, we really want you to choose every class that you're taking. We want you to pursue things that you're interested in, that you're excited about. We offer over 50 areas of study. Some of our more popular areas include environmental sciences, biology, creative writing, politics, and English. Officially, all of our students come in undeclared if you're on the liberal arts side, and you have until the end of your sophomore year to pick a major. It's very common for our students to be interested in multiple things. So if you want to do a double major or pick up a minor or 2 or 3, it's really easy to do that and still graduate on time. Because our curriculum is so flexible, it's very common to just pursue a lot of different options. One thing I do want to highlight is our winter term. So for us, this is the month of January. During winter term, you are not in classes, you are pursuing a project of your own design. And so this can look different every year. You have to do at least 3 winter term projects in your 4 years at Oberlin. Maybe 1 year you'll study abroad, 1 year you'll do an internship, 1 year you'll take for yourself and do a passion project that maybe is not related to your major, but is something that you've always really been interested in doing more or learning more about. So to give some examples, we have students who will join faculty research teams. We have a program called Oberlin in Congress where you can go and shadow a member of the House of Representatives as an intern. Maybe you want to do job shadowing and follow a surgeon around if you're on the pre-med track and see, okay, what does the day-to-day of this job look like? Is this something that I'm really interested in? Or maybe you want to do something that you're just interested in personally. So you take winter term to record an album or become certified to be a scuba diver. The point of winter term is to be creative and take risks. It's graded pass fail. So we really just want you to go out and try something. And I always love when I meet a student, I ask them, what is your favorite winter term project that you've done? And just the breadth of things that students get involved with is just really astounding to me. And then as important as academics are, we also really want you to enjoy your college experience. We are a residential school, so everybody lives in Oberlin all 4 years. That creates a really tight-knit community, and community is something that's really important to us here. We do live in a small town. Oberlin has about 8,000 residents, but the students are so busy and doing so many things outside of class that you're never bored. There's at any given weekend, there's 8 or 10 different things that are going on that you might want to check out. We have 21 sports teams on campus. We do about 40 theater and dance performances every year. But really the biggest thing happening on campus is music. And that is in large part because of the conservatory. We do over 500 concerts and performances every academic year. So that averages out to like 3 to 4 different concerts a day. A lot of that is coming through our conservatory students playing in the orchestras and the choirs. But we also have a lot of outside performers come in, everything from Yo-Yo Ma to Lizzo. So really that full spectrum of musical genres being represented. We also get a lot of liberal arts students who are interested in doing music, but not as a major. So there's a lot of ways for you to get involved. Or even if you're just someone who likes to listen to music, again, there's a lot of opportunities for you to have that experience on campus. And then, as I mentioned, we're just about 30 minutes outside of Cleveland. It's really easy to get to the airport. We're about a 20-minute drive from there. But the town of Oberlin and the College of Oberlin are really well intertwined. So we really have a nice relationship with our community. And then finally, for application deadlines, I just want to highlight there's no application fee. We are on the Common App or the Coalition application. We don't require any supplemental essays. It's free to apply, and we are test optional. So we're trying to make that very easy to apply. We also meet 100% of demonstrated need for every student that we admit, and everybody is automatically considered for merit scholarships. We are open for visits, both in person and virtually. I'd love to get to know you, and please feel free to drop any questions in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. So that concludes the presentation portion of our session today. We're now going to transition to the Q&A. I want to encourage all of our presenters to return. Feel free to turn on your camera, and I will pose the question to the group. Our presenters will respond to the question in the order in which they presented. The question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? So we will go ahead and start with Occidental College.
So my advice going through the college search process is thinking forward to this summer and this fall. One of the things that many of us love to do is interview applicants. Not every college or university offers that opportunity. And some of you have to be invited, so it's different at every school. But if a college is offering you the opportunity to interview, we strongly recommend taking us up on that experience. We love getting to know you beyond the essays, beyond the transcript, and just getting to see you as a person. These often happen virtually or in a coffee shop in your hometown. And so we strongly encourage you to consider interviewing with us in the summer or fall.
My advice would be to kind of expand your horizons. There's a lot of universities around the world. There's like tens of thousands, not just in the UK. There's affordable education everywhere. not just in the US. And there's also the opportunity for study abroad if you don't feel that a full year degree is right for you internationally. But I really encourage you to try to get an international experience. I think any adult I talk to who didn't study abroad always said it's their biggest regret of college. So I really encourage you all to just get out there, see the world, whether it's for a full degree or just for a semester.
I would recommend just really being true to yourself and what you envision for your future in your next 4 years. You're going to have a lot of influences from teachers, family members, friends on where you may end up, but really taking into consideration what matters to you in a college and what a college can give to you specifically.
And I would recommend just asking for help. Every school has an admissions team, and that's what we're here for. So even if it's not a question that you have for us, if it's a question for a current student, a coach, a professor, whoever it is, we can always be the first people to connect you with them. So just let us know what we can do.
My advice is to not apply to as many schools as the Common App allows, because they allow you to apply to 20 schools, and that's just too many. It's so hard to keep track. I would say keep it to about 7, maybe 10, if you're really unsure, but I think it just gets really difficult when you're trying to piece together everything.
And I would say be open-minded. I think there's probably like 10 to 15 schools that everybody knows and has heard of. Those are great schools, but there are thousands of schools in this country. So you really got to do your research and put some time in. But there's a lot of places where you might be a good fit that maybe you aren't as familiar with. So, don't be afraid to do a virtual tour with some place that you're not as familiar with, or listen to your counselor and just think outside the box a little bit.
Great advice from the group, so thank you all. Final question here, and again, we'll start with Charlie. What is one myth you like to debunk about the college admissions process?
I always talk about, I think people have this image of an admission committee like in the movies where, a lot of 80-year-old people with a monocle are sitting around, with no sense of humor and looking to find out what's wrong with you. And that's not the case at all. And you'll find that people who work in admissions are really your champions, your biggest fans. We're looking for reasons to advocate for you in this process. Often the first person who reads your application is a recent alum, so they're not that far from you in age. And so, there's just people looking to root for you. So present your best self, be authentic, and we'll see that come through.
I think another big myth is that, you have to start preparing for college your freshman year, start that essay really early. You also really should just enjoy high school. It's only 4 years. It goes by really quickly. So does college. And, you really don't have to actually earnestly start worrying about college applications till junior year. So just, enjoy high school, take time, obviously prepare, but you don't need to go insane to figure out what is the right fit for you.
Similar to what Kim said about the Common App in the first question, I think that a big myth is that you can't put, too much emphasis on one school or really broaden yourself to too many schools. That looks bad one way or another. I think really what's important is showing your interest and in your engagement with your potential schools and showing that you're really putting forth the effort to each application, and that shows us that you're interested, but also that you're making the connections with the schools that you're applying to. And it doesn't need to be 10 schools, but it doesn't have to be just one either.
Yeah, and I think the myth I want to tackle is the admissions people don't read the whole application. It's just like a quick skim. We do read the whole application. So just think about that as you're writing your essays and, make sure you're double checking everything. Really having somebody else look it over is going to be like your savior. So make sure you have somebody put a second pair of eyes on everything.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about the essay too. Don't stress about it that much. It's really our way of getting to know you better. We can look at your transcript and see that you're really smart, but your essay is going to let us know a lot more about you. But we don't expect you to write like a 30-something-year-old. We realize you're 17 or 18.
I would just add that there is not one specific student that we are looking for. We're looking for a variety of people. So don't get it in your head that you have to try to fit yourself into like a mold that you think that we're exactly looking for. We want people with different interests and backgrounds and life experiences. So we just want to get to know the real you.
Thank you all. Thank you for sharing. So we are approaching the end of our virtual college fair, but I do have a few closing announcements. As you exit from this Zoom session, a survey will appear. It's approximately 5 questions or so, but please complete the survey. It's extremely helpful as we aim to improve our virtual college fair offerings in the future. I also want to remind you to sign up for additional sessions by visiting our registration site. And finally, you can access this recording by visiting tribescan.com/AIMS. I want to thank all of our presenters for joining me, but also thank you to all of our attendees. I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you.